And happy birthday to Greymon Killer 18. Did I get that right? Greymon Killer 18? Yeah, Greymon Killer 18. Because it's a birthday, I'm doing a birthday, who would win? It's because it's your birthday. And I know who to win on the birthday, or whatever the request is. You asked for Hercules, and I just have this particular picture of Hercules, Dwayne The Rock Johnson one. Hercules from Mythos versus Victory Greymon from Digimon. Most people know the general mythos of Hercules. He is the demigod. Ultimately became, if I'm not mistaken, the god of strength in the Greek pantheon. But he was a demigod who was born of Zeus, and I can't remember his mom's name. Nearly kills an infant, but still retained his Herculean strength. Incredible warrior. Literally had the strength to hold the heavens above his head, meaning he was holding basically an entire universe / reality over his head. And basically Atlas is like, right, you're gonna do it. All right, fine, you win. Let me just hold this so I can get a better grip. And then he just tricked Atlas. He does carry arrows with Hydra blood on it that can kill immortals, and he has the strength to literally battle, gods. I would go into more detail, but there actually really isn't that much more detail to Hercules beyond that. He's actually also not unintelligent either. Despite the brutish nature of his abilities, he's actually pretty smart. But he's not like a super genius or anything, but he's pretty smart. Victory Greymon. That's the one I'm going to have to go into a bit more detail because I've never used Victory Greymon in Versus. The digital world is technically its own multiverse in many ways, but the digital world has a center figure called Yggdrasil. I might be butchering the name, but that's based off the world tree in Norse mythology. It's based at the world tree, and is the central figure of the digital world. It can manipulate reality. It can actually see the future. It controls the royal knights, who are 12 or 13. I can't remember how many. I'm literally writing a story for Friends Evolving, so I really got to remember how many there are, who are all exceptionally powerful Mega Digimon. And really, the Yggdrasil is so powerful, but can and has been corrupted or taken over, that you need a failsafe in place to counter that. And the failsafe takes the form of two Digimon. One is Zed Garurumon, and the other is Victory Greymon. Now, they are unlike other Digimon. There is no real clear Digivolution route for them. Like, there's no rookie to champion. I mean, it's actually egg to, I think it's called fresh or baby, to in training to rookie, champion, ultimate, mega. And these guys are, honestly, they'd probably be classified well beyond mega. They'd be either ultra or whatever you theoretically could make beyond ultra. And there aren't many ultras out there, by the way. Mega for the longest time was the highest level you could get for a Digimon. Then it's revealed, oh no, there's an ultra level. It's like, oh, okay, great, wonderful. I'd say Victory Greymon, Zed Garurumon, for what they're designed to do, are probably whatever a classification above ultra would be, because there's only two of them, and they're the only two there is. I'm guessing if they are for whatever reason killed or defeated, another one would take their place. Point being, though, they are the failsafe systems of the digital world. They are specifically designed to maintain the balance if Yggdrasil were to go haywire or something were to threaten Yggdrasil to the point where it could do it. And how powerful actually is Victory Greymon? In a confrontation with, I believe, it's Barbramon, who had fused with Yggdrasil, he literally was able to one-shot it. That you have to understand the level of power we are actually dealing with here when we're talking about someone who can one-shot Yggdrasil. Because Yggdrasil is technically a complex multiversal being, and the digital world has not just multiple, like, just biomes in it, but multiple universes and multiple multiverses within it. And Yggdrasil is the guy at the center of that, and Victory Greymon / Zed Garurumon can just one-shot this SOB. So if when using their full power at full capacity. So in a fight between and that's not even going into the actual abilities these guys have. Victory Greymon, honestly, he uses his sword. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but he uses the sword you see in his hand, which actually has an ability where you don't slash, but you strike at people. He can also separate the sword in two halves, stick him on his arms, And then basically do the same thing that Greymon does, where he channels energy in the atmosphere, except he channels them on the tips of his blades and basically fires them like cannons. I've always apparently you can get Victory Greymon in certain games, but not like in Hacker's Memory or Cyber Sleuth or Hacker's Memory, sadly. But regardless, yeah, if we're talking just in terms of like versal tiers, Victory Greymon is leagues beyond Hercules. Like, Hercules can hold the entirety of heaven in reality, but that's not multiversal. That's at best he's holding a universe with sheer strength, sure. But we're talking not just multiversal, we're talking complex multiversal when we're dealing with Victory Greymon here. And this is a guy who can one-shot individuals of that who are just leagues beyond Hercules in terms of power, in terms of just ability alone. Now, that's not to say, however, that Hercules wouldn't be able to maybe dish out a couple punches. His strength would still be enough that he lands a good couple blows in Victory Greymon. Victory Greymon would feel it. But the minute Victory Greymon pulls out the sword and lands any significant strike on Hercules, it's kind of going to be one and done. So the question, I guess, would just come down to, could Hercules beat Victory Greymon before Victory Greymon ever got a sword striking on him? Or annihilated his ass with his attack. So, and I don't see those Hydra arrows piercing Victory Greymon. Even if they did, he's a digital being, so I don't think it would work in the same vein as a normal attack would. Like, poison probably wouldn't do much to Victory Greymon, if we're going to be honest, because it's not the same type of being as a being from his world. But again, when you're dealing with digital beings like Digimon versus like just normal biological beings, and in their world, should note, they still function like biological beings. And when they come into our world, they still do the same. Granted, if you were to decapitate one, you're not going to have like the remains of a Digimon. They just turn into data. But still, they still function in many ways violently. They still get injured. They still bleed. You could still have an arm lost. And even though that arm might fall off and turn into data, they'd still be missing an arm. It's basically when they've taken so much damage that they're going to die, they turn back into data. And I don't think a Hydra arrow is going to be enough to do that. Overall, yeah, I'd say this would actually be a pretty one-and-done fight for Victory Greymon. Victory Greymon is actually obscenely powerful, and I'm surprised I haven't used him more often. Between him and Garurumon, he's just also the better design. I think this cool warrior dragon with a blade. Technically, he's a dinosaur, but he's kind of a dragon, too. So ultimately, I would go Victory Greymon. That's my thoughts. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Happy birthday. And I'll see you guys for the next one.